Bouncy, bouncy. Hi guys, and welcome to the show. And today we're looking at the brand new Hoka Arahi 5. Okay, so this is a stability shoe. In the Hoka range, this would be what they would class as their mid-range stability. They changed it in version 3, and the sole unit has stayed exactly the same through 4 and into 5. In regards, you see the way it's blue, and it wraps comes all the way around, and right through here on the lateral side, or on the medial side, right through into, say, the midfoot, past the midfoot, or the ball of the foot, right? So this piece of material, this blue piece of material, is harder than the general EVA that they use in the shoe. So what you have is this guy wraps around your heel and cradles your foot to hold it in place. So what you also have is in the Hoka shoes, see the way it comes up here on the side there and there, medial and lateral sides of the shoe. So when you stand into the shoe, this cradles your foot, holding you on either side, okay? So the combination of that and the way this wraps around your heel to hold it in place, that's how the stability is designed into the shoe. It isn't just one piece of stiffer material, the medial post and the traditional medial post. And this is done differently. It's more subtle. It's what they call a dynamic stability. They used to have it written on it, not on version 5. What they've written on it is, you can see these couple of numbers here. The most important one for me will be the weight. So they're saying 269, and I'm assuming that's 269 grams. Now, what I'd have to say is when I took it out of the box, first impression, taking it out of the box in my hand, wow, really light. Typical Hoka shoe, really light. Stability shoe, really light for a stability shoe. Like most other brands, their stability shoes, you're talking over 300 grams. Like, so that is quite a difference. Now, what you're also looking at in your Hoka range is your max cushion. So how I would describe the feel of the cushion in the shoe is it's like a platform of foam underneath your foot the whole way through. So there's no kind of a specific point in the heel to toe transition where you say, oh, that's a lovely feel. You just, from the minute you make contact with the ground to the toe off, there's cushion there. It feels, it's consistent through the shoe, that cushion feel, that reduced impact. So in most of our brands, then, they'd have a lot more segmentation under the ball of the shoe here. Now they have a small bit, but it isn't huge, and the reason they do that is because you can see the roll off the toe. It's much more accentuated in other brands, and there's this roll off the heel as well. In the Hoka brand, they call it the meta rocker design. So the whole idea is that when you land on your heel, you roll through off your toe smoother. So there's less call for segmentation in the shoe. There's less flexion in the shoe. The shoe does more of the work for you than your foot. Like, you know, your foot doesn't have to do as much of the work. Very important for people who have lower leg foot injuries. Like a huge amount of people who don't even run would be sent by podiatrists, physiotherapists, foot specialists, people who've had foot surgery specifically for the Hoka brand, because of this meta rocker design in the sole. Is really effective, works really well. Basically, where your metatarsals meet your toes, there's less flexion there, so the foot isn't asked to do as much. So if you do have issues, especially say people with arthritic feet, like the shoes do more of the work. So it can be a life changer for some people in regards being able to get out and be active again. But as regards like the running scene, like, you know, these guys are eating the lunch of all the major brands big time over the last 4 or 5 years. Their growth is massive. Their popularity and reach now is really, really big. You'll see them in more and more places. The only issue with the Hoka brand in regards to availability is because they're becoming so popular and successful, sometimes it can be quite hard to get your hands on a pair. Well, you know, that speaks for itself. Now we go on to the fit of the shoe. So I got the Carbon X2 and I tried on the 9 and I went for the 9.5 because I just felt the 9. I normally wear 9 in most shoes. I went for the 9.5. So I thought to myself, I didn't get to try these on. So I said I'd just go for the 9.5 to be on the safe side, and I'm glad I did. It's it was a nice fit when I put it on. I could feel the narrowness of the shoe. Like the Hoka range are a narrow fit, so someone with a broad foot would either go up a half a size or maybe look for the wide fit in the range. I like to have a bit of room in the toe box. I like my toes to be able to display. What I found when I ran in this guy, I did just over 5 miles, is I could feel that snug fit around here. It was really holding my foot securely. Now, I like my foot to be able to move about a little bit more. Now, it wasn't uncomfortable, wasn't that bad or anything, but the first thing that came to my head was I was really glad that I got the 9.5 rather than the 9, because like I'm hoping to get up to do like up to 20-mile runs in this guy. And if that was the case, I'd probably end up with issues with the shoe not being big enough for me. Now, the really important thing for me going forward with this particular shoe is I didn't have version 4, I had version 3. Version 3, version 4, and even this guy here, there's very little difference. So the version 3 I had, the upper is different. The upper is actually thicker in this guy. I think Hoka are going for a more durable effect with this thicker upper. There have been issues with some people were ripping here and here, but that's more to do for me with the narrowness of the fit. So if you have a big, broad, wide foot, be aware that it's narrow and that if you're pushing out to the side, it mightn't last as long as some other shoes. Okay. And the other thing is with that narrow fit, with me previously in the version 3, I had a size 9, and I'd get up to maybe 7 or 8 miles in it, and I'd get a burn on my right foot underneath the arch, just under the ball of the foot. Now, my right arch is semi-collapsed. My left arch is pretty good. My right arch is semi-collapsed. So in narrow fit shoes, I will suffer that problem. I get that problem in the Adidas range. The Adidas will be a narrow fit brand as well. Now, the key for me with the 9.5 is to see, can I get up to that 10, 12 miles without any issue? Now, I'll do my long run Sunday in these guys. I'll probably hit about 8, 9, hopefully further, maybe get to 10 miles. That will give me a real indication to whether I'm going to have that issue again. Now, I have a pair of Hoka Challengers, 9.5, no problem. The longest I've ran the Carbon X, probably about 6 or 7 miles, no problem. I have a pair of Clifton Edge. That's a size 9 now. But I have to say, I haven't ran long distance indoors. I wouldn't be a huge fan of that shoe. It's okay. I wouldn't be buying it again, to be honest with you. But I'm looking at this guy going forward for doing long runs in, hopefully, with that max cushion. But that's the key to the Hoka brand. It's that Meta Rocker design that we talked about, that heel to toe transition with that max cushion. Another little change they made is the heel tab here, this flared heel tab. It's the same on the Carbon X2. You see a lot of brands with that flared heel tab. Nice, light, comfortable. Now, before when I put it on, I was walking around, I could feel the slight stiffness of the sole. It's good, like, because it is a stability shoe, and I do need stability. But once I got out and started moving, started to get going, it was a really nice cushion feel. Enjoyed my run in it. I did, like I said, about just over 5 miles. That's just over 8 kilometers. I was surprised now I was a little bit faster than I have been recently. Now, I didn't run yesterday, and I did a bit of foam rolling and stretching, so maybe that's why I just loosened out a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But that's the Hoka Arahi 5. Now I'm going to do a stability test on this guy as well. We'll put that up over the next couple of days. I'll do my long run the weekend in it, and we'll have a talk about it in the long slow run video this Sunday. Let you know how I got on with it, and we'll talk a bit more about this guy, because this is a really interesting shoe. It's going to be a very popular, it's going to be a big shoe in 2021. The previous iterations have been really popular, technically good. I suppose the one drawback to the Hoka range is the durability of the shoes. Because they're max cushion and because they're so light, the foam that they use isn't the most durable. Now for me, I'm a more of a ball of the foot striker, I hadn't had that issue with the shoe deteriorating, but a lot of people who'd be heavy heel strikers might wear through them a bit quicker. Um, so price wise, like, you're talking €140. So it's in direct competition to, say, the New Balance 860, the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21, the Mizuno Wave Inspire 17. You have the Saucony Guide 14. All these guys are all like direct competitors to each other in the market. They're all priced more or less the same. I think Mizuno's might be €5 more expensive, but at 140, it's competitively priced. But for some people, they won't get the same amount of mileage out of this guy as they would out of, say, the New Balance 860 or the Adrenaline or the Mizuno. But definitely the New Balance and the Mizuno, they durability wise, they stand up really well. Brooks tend to be can be same thing again with people with heavy heel strikers. They might wear through that heel a bit quicker. Saucony, same thing, it depends. Saucony wouldn't be quite as durable as Mizuno and New Balance. I suppose I have your ASICS GT2000. I have many ASICS over the years, but the GT2000 will be quite popular as well. But that's the type of shoe that this shoe is the equivalent of and goes up against, okay? So that's our Hoka Arahi 5, guys. We'll talk more about this in the future. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Stay safe.